Today I'm going to show you my favourite mods that have been released over the past month. This may just replace the 5 mod videos just for a few weeks and see if you guys kinda like this new style. Plus, there's been some pretty incredible mods that have been released since my last one, and I couldn't fit them all into a 5 mod video. Anyway, first up we have Asia Extension, which, as you probably guessed, expands the map all the way to Japan, adding Indonesia, Korea, and of course China, with new cultures, religions, and some new troops that can be found. It is still very much work in progress, but it still works pretty much perfectly and I've had no issues with it. Plus, it allows you to raid even further with the Vikings, so what's not to love? But seriously, they have done a great job expanding the map more, which just gives so much more replayability to CK3, although it is suggested not to start as the Emperor of China, as you'll have to assign a lot of titles. And 1066 is a little bit broken, as characters will start at insane ages. There's clearly some problems, but it's definitely playable and so much fun. Hiraeth Dynasty Legacy Overhaul makes Dynasty Legacies actual legacies, as you can't just unlock them by having enough renown. You must actually achieve certain tasks to get each one to unlock, and it is such a welcome change. Like if you wanted to go up the law path, which typically helps with income, the first level requires you to either be independent or a powerful vassal, and then the next one requires you to have 1000 gold, and the third unlock for each tree requires the dynasty head to have 18 perks in the related lifestyle focus. There's also some pretty big changes that's been made, like unlocking the Robber Baron, gets you a new men-at-arms, the Ruffians. They're incredibly cheap, costing only prestige to maintain and only 22 gold to create. So as you can imagine, they're not the most powerful, but you could easily create so many of these to fill up your ranks. And for each tree there's a new decision that can be unlocked, which just gives even more flavour to the game and allows you to even more play into a specific playstyle. Like once again for the law one, you get the ability to mint coins for glory. This allows you to exchange prestige for gold and it can be done once every 5 years. Overall, I just really like this mod and I will definitely be using it a lot more in my future games. Next up we have more interactive Vassals. Now I would include Great Empire Wars mechanic as well, but if you do want to hear more about that mod, I did create a full video on it. But more interactive Vassals massively improves the civil wars in the game. They mention it is similar to the Mega Wars from Crusader Kings 2, a Game of Thrones mod, so any civil war type like tyranny, claimant, populist and the rest gives every single vassal an event where they can either choose to declare for the crown and defend their liege, or declare for the rebels and attempt to beat their liege, or simply remain neutral. Although because of this, you do see many more vassals pick a side when a war is declared, and like I mentioned, this just makes civil wars possibly devastating events that sweep across the entire realm. So it makes it more important than ever to keep your vassals happy and on your side. There's also some other changes as well. Like any wars for a full kingdom or empire title, we'll call every vassal from both realms to the wars, making them giant wars and a lot more fun than you typically get in vanilla Crusader Kings. So if you are looking for some insane crazy wars like never before, I fully recommend this mod for you. And if the last mod seemed like a lot of fun for you, I'm sure Skallas War and Conquest will be also. It basically just turns the entire world into Saints Row 2 with the pedestrian war and evil cars cheat. Everyone just wants everybody else dead. And this is achieved by making AI more willing to go to war against each other, more likely to challenge larger empires, and they also want more alliances than previously. So it just increases the chances of seeing AI participate in huge wars. And it's just fun to see the world go completely crazy, and it makes you feel like the Mad Max era will happen any day now. There is also a new trait that rulers' children can very rarely get: Legendary Conqueror. And as you can see, it makes them incredibly powerful, but it does also increase their chances of death in battle by 100%, similar to the Brave trait. So these characters will for sure be noticeable in your world, as they conquer all their neighbours with ease, but will most likely die fairly quickly. I'm gonna be honest, this is just for sure the ultimate chaos mod for Crusader Kings 3. Salt and Pepper makes the appearance of older characters just simply better. as instead of one day just kinda going grey, this makes it take a lot longer. So some characters will have grey appear in their hair a lot younger than others, and I'm not sure exactly how to explain the difference, but clearly, like you can just see, it just looks way better. Next up, we have the dynamic ward limit. This allows characters with a higher learning to have up to 4 wards, which makes sense. Like they said, characters with excellent learning shouldn't struggle teaching more than 2 children. And I quickly did a test to see how much learning you need for each amount of wards. So if you have less than 7, you're allowed to have 1 ward. 8 to 12 learning allows 2. 13 to 17 allows 3, and 18 and above allows you to have 4 wards, which of course is just going to be incredibly helpful so you can actually educate more than 2 of your heirs, giving you a way better chance of having better children. Auto-promote religion and culture is one of the best quality of life improvements. It simply forces your bishop to keep promoting your religion across your realm once their current task has finished. This just saves you the hassle of manually doing it each time, and it just wastes none of your bishop's time. Of course, the same for your steward for culture conversion. Both have a list of priorities set, so we won't just do random counties. I'll put them on the screen so you can see, but overall, it's simple and incredibly useful. I'm sure you all know Uber Epic Zack, the great modder with works such as the Kingdom of Heaven, the expanded series, and now removes Heisteen. Like, how could you do such a thing? Removing the most notorious character in all of Crusader Kings. This mod hurt me deep down. But it's all forgiven due to another mod he released. Wasteland Border Color Remover, which removes all that pointless red outline you see around all the impassable terrain, making the borders just look so much cleaner. So hey, at least that makes up for that other cursed mod. Do all the people less than 6 foot want to be shamed for being short in your games too? Well, now you can with height traits. At the start of the game, you will have the ability to choose your own character's height, but all the other AI rulers will automatically get theirs. In total, there's 7 traits, and the taller your character is, the more martial and prowess you get, while losing intrigue, and the opposite is true for the shorter you are. And honestly, it's just a nice change seeing all characters have different heights, as typically in-game most people are a very similar height. Plus, who doesn't want to be a 3 foot tall assassin? Exactly. Now honestly, I saved my favourite for last. Medieval Arts, more special buildings, adds a massive 1032 new buildings to the game. Yes, 1032, like what? Now, this is a submod for Medieval Arts, and if you haven't already tried that, please just go off the video and give it a go now. It will also be linked below. There's also a Google Earth link that has all the buildings pinned, and you can just see there's so many, from castles to cathedrals to more recognizable buildings like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Like, there's just such a crazy amount of buildings that's been added. Like, I can't even begin to imagine how long this probably took. But yeah, that wraps up this video. Hopefully you did enjoy and you found some new mods to use. And of course, I'm going to end the video with a massive thank you to all the channel members. We have Bayek Von Quark, Arcane, Damien, Intermia 1, Irrelevant, Luke Jarrett, Zigadelic, and Random Icelander. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.